team. I'm talking about the Jayden Daniel led Washington Commanders. And I'm going to say in my head, it's Commanders, 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 because I mess that up all the
Redskins.
time. Unfortunately, Philly's a 6.5 point favorite, basically a touchdown. Over unders 47.5. But guys, Jayden Daniels is a bona fide star. He's a lock for rookie of the year, and he should honestly get votes for NFL MVP. But you guys know this guy really well, being from Atlanta, Dan Quinn. The guy has coached his butt off this year, and he has a team with nothing to lose, and they're one win away with a rookie quarterback from going to the Super Bowl. Cam, you want to dive in here?
You got it. So the Eagles have allowed 16 points per game in the playoffs. However, the secondary was roasted for 320 yards last week against Matthew Stafford, and the D line has given up 100 plus yards on the running game over the last two games, or per game over the last two games. Meanwhile, the Commanders are putting up 34 points per game, averaging nearly 300 yards through the air. And then you also have Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler, who have been lighting it up on the ground. Um, I really like Jayden Daniels. I think he's played an excellent season. He's been super efficient, but the Eagles just have a ton of talent on this roster. It's going to be really hard for them to overcome. Are we giving our picks now, Joey, or are
No,
we
we're
waiting on
we're
this?
waiting. We're waiting.
You got it. Over to you, Evan.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, Jayden Daniels has been absolutely phenomenal this season. He has, I mean, he's been nearly perfect. They're just not that well-rounded of a team. On the opposite side, we've got an Eagles team who has been really phenomenal. However, who knows if Jalen Hurts is going to come out as a healthy player? He hasn't had a couple good games here, going out with an injury, I believe, in the last game. Now, the other thing is the big question here is Dan Quinn and this Washington defense. They are the third best in the NFL on passing defense, but I think they're third to last on rushing defense. So the X factor here is really Saquon Barkley.
The Eagles aren't going to pass the ball.
They
You might
can't
as well
pass the
bench
ball.
AJ
You
Brown.
don't even need to. That's the fun part, because you got hopefully a mobile quarterback, and then you got Saquon Barkley, who has combined in the two times they've played Washington this year, I think it's 296 yards and four touchdowns. I mean, that's a lot. Where on the other side, you got Jayden Daniels, who has passed for just a bajillion yards, but he's also their head rusher on the team with over 800 rushing yards. So it's going to be a good game.
There's
I will.
one really interesting fact on this one. That's the weather. It'll be 30 degrees at
Mm,
kickoff, which will potentially impact tossability through the game.
yeah, dude, that game the other day, you see all that snow? That was
Mhm.
absolutely nuts. That was
I was
really
going to
cool to
say,
see.
I'm pretty sure it's a high of 42 that entire day. So, I mean, this is basically Florida for the Eagles.
One last point on the Eagles. I mean, Jalen Hurts has been a game manager this season. When you have a back that rushes for 2,000 yards, you can do that. Eagles can beat you with the pass or the run game. Don't forget to have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the outside as a pretty good wide receiver tandem. Honestly, the Eagles this season they'll take what they can get from the opposing team. They'll just run it at you all day and win by 6 points if they need to. They've only had 7 wins this year by double digits, so half of their wins have been by single digits. And I think most of them have been by a touchdown or less. So they're not really the team that I think is going to feel like they have to blow Washington out. And honestly, they've struggled a little bit this postseason, even though they won both games. So I'm saying don't count Washington out. And maybe that's a bit of foreshadowing for what we're going to do next. Eagles Commanders, Evan.
Yeah, so I've got the Eagles on this one, and I've got them to cover. Like I said, big story about this one is that run game on the Eagles. I don't think that Washington defense can keep up with it. They're going to chew a lot of time off the clock. They're going to score, and they're not going to give Jayden Daniels a whole lot of time to score. He's going to have to score really fast, which he's very capable of doing. But I don't know if he's going to be able to put the entire team on his back. So I'm going to Eagles, and I'm going for them to cover.
All right. I'm expecting, what is it, 47 and a half. I wrote down 20 to 24 Eagles to win. I don't think that the Eagles are going to cover, but I do think the Eagles are going to win. I think Jayden Daniels is going to play an excellent fourth quarter. I think it's probably 13 to 24 going into it. Eagles are held shut out in the fourth, but it's just not quite enough to overcome.
Honestly, guys, I'm going Washington. I just think to go in to Detroit against the best team in the NFC and lay a whooping on them. Now, Detroit had a lot of injuries, so let's preface that. But to go in and do that, this team is scared of nothing. Okay. And I think this is just their year. I think that they win outright. And if this is a close game, do not trust Eagles kicker Jake Elliott, 28 for 36 this year. And he missed 2 extra points last week. So do not trust that guy if this is a close game. I think the Commanders win, and I think the under hits. I think it's going to be
So
a very tight game.
Joey, I'll ask the question we're all wondering. If Jayden Daniels wins this game, is he the greatest rookie quarterback of all time? Or is he already, in your opinion?
I mean, it would be tough to not put him up there, right? If you go to the Super Bowl as a rookie. And it's not like this guy is a game manager on a team that's already built to win it. Like they have a lot of great pieces. They did great in the offseason with their defensive pieces, adding to their defense. And Dan Quinn has done a great job coaching, but Jayden Daniels is the reason this team is where they is. So, yes, yeah, greatest rookie quarterback.
One thing I do want to give the Commanders a lot of credit for,
Yeah.
they underwent a new general manager, new coaching staff, new DC, new OC. I mean, the amount of turnover, I believe they were expected to have 6 wins this season. To be standing where they are, still in the playoffs, is absolutely incredible given what the expectations were.
Evan, you're watching the show. You like it. What's the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to like, comment, and subscribe to this whole shindig.
Maybe you can share it too. I'd love to have this get in more places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, guys, we love to hear from you. We started to get some more comments. We'd love to post your comments up on a future episode. So call us out. If you don't agree with us, let us know. We would love to debate with you live on recording.